Shout out to our sponsor, Sherry's Berries, because Mother's Day, only a few days away.
Send her a batch of freshly dipped strawberries for $19.99 or double the number for an extra $10.
To get this offer, visit berries.com, click the microphone in the top right corner, and use offer code THEKNOW.
With a space.
All right, good job, guys.
Welcome to The Know. I'm Ashley Jenkins.
I'm Meg Turney.
You might be a little bit surprised to find out we've got another comic book movie coming out this week. Such a rare event since they're totally not buried by the overabundance of those, huh?
Yeah, it's just a little known indie title called Civil War. Yeah, you probably never heard of it.
Captain America.
Yeah.
Civil War.
I'm sorry.
There's a colon in it.
Yeah,
I
there
think.
is.
I don't know. Anyway, the culmination of 8 years worth of films from Marvel's Cinematic Universe, Captain America versus Iron Man. The first appearance of Marvel's take on Spider-Man. Yeah, great. The official kickoff of Phase 3. No big deal.
Yeah, it's not a big deal at all.
Nothing going on with this movie.
And if early box office numbers and the film's review scores are to be believed, it's actually going to be a huge fucking deal.
According to critics, Civil War clocks in at just okay. Just kidding. It's got like a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the early consensus is that it might be the best Marvel movie and possibly the best comic book movie ever made.
Better than Fantastic Four?
No!
Better than 1990 Captain America?
Oh, that hurts. Okay.
Yeah.
Those are both pretty big claims. To something. As for how Civil War's 92% stacks up with other Marvel movies and comic book movies in general, so far seems to be at the top of the heap.
In fact, only the first Avengers movie has that high of a score, which kind of makes sense because, I mean, let's be honest here, this is basically Avengers 2.5.
It really is. I get why they're calling it Captain America because those movies have a certain vibe, but it feels very Avengers-y.
Yeah, Age of Ultron, by the way, didn't even fare that well. It came in at a 75.
However, in name, Civil War is a Captain America film, and Cap's previous films scored an 80 and 89 for First Avenger and Winter Soldier, respectively.
And just like Civil War, Guardians of the Galaxy, also a huge hit with reviewers, scoring in a 91% overall, which means critics like Civil War at least 1% better.
Take that, Green Ladies. And Chick, who used to be a companion to Doctor who I didn't really like in that movie. Since Iron Man's the other focal point of this movie, though, which is what we should be talking about, RDJ's last solo venture, Iron Man 3, ended up with a 79% on Rotten Tomatoes. That didn't stop it from being a box office powerhouse, of course. Its final haul was $1.2 billion. It's also the number 10 highest grossing film of all time.
As for why the reviewers love Civil War so much, well, many are praising the film's pacing, its sense of fun. Apparently, plenty of shots are fired at Batman vs. Superman
The second I heard the word fun, I was like, oh, BVS, that's
what they do. And in particular, the film's huge action sequences.
Richard Roper of the Chicago Sun-Times says of the film's ability to balance multiple storylines, kudos to co-directors Anthony and Joe Russo and the team of writers for juggling more than a dozen comic book characters and nearly that many plot lines and only occasionally getting us, and by us I mean me, lost in the geek weeds.
Meanwhile, Rolling Stone's review calls the movie near perfect, in addition to bringing the fun, the fierce, and the fireworks.
Of the film's huge final set piece, the AV Club writes, it becomes, for these few blissful minutes, a true live-action comic book. And for once, the strategy of endless interlocking spin-offs pays off. It's like we're seeing the fruit of the entire shared universe labor, a set piece built on not just the powers, but also the personalities established across 8 years of serialized storytelling.
And really, most of the reviews keep hitting on those exact same awesome notes.
Man, all this over-the-top praise for a superhero versus superhero clash. You gotta wonder how Warner Brothers and DC feels about all this.
Na. Hello, darkness, my old friend. It probably just stings a little bit considering Batman vs. Superman bottomed out with a 28% on Rotten Tomatoes overall.
Yeah, DC's probably on the ground yelling Martha right now. That's enough to make them friends, right? Spoilers.
Yeah, we're whatever. Kind of crazy to think about the fact that there used to be a version of this movie that didn't have Iron Man or Spider-Man in it.
What? In a recent interview with IO9 Civil War's directors said that before Iron Man and Spider-Man were confirmed for the film, they had to have alternative plans for the movie that didn't involve either of those characters, as well as versions that had one character and not the other, which is quite a leap considering that the comic book Civil War storyline you can't do without Iron Man. But I'd love to hear what they had planned.
I believe before, we're going to just a little riff town here.
Let's do it.
I believe before it wasn't going to be a Civil War movie. It was supposed to be about Cap and Bucky getting back together, and then they were going to leap in. But then RDJ was like, I want to get in on that ish. Let's do Civil War instead. And now we have this movie.
Also heard he's up for Iron Man 4. Just saying.
He wants to do one more.
We can continue the downward trend. In the end, they hoped for the best and pushed forward with what they thought was the best version of the movie, which is what exists today. And thank goodness for that. 92%. Good job.
You nailed it. As for how this sets things up for the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we know that this is going to directly tie in to the upcoming Infinity War movies. And since Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. are signed on for those already, we're probably not ending up with a dead Cap or Tony at the end of this movie. Please don't spoil it if you've seen it.
Civil War, as it played out in the comics, might give us a little bit of an idea. We're sure you're super familiar with it, but here's a quick recap.
The Civil War storyline was a huge Marvel event running from July 2006 to January 2007 and spanning a number of issues. Now, similar to the movie, the base conflict came down to government regulation of superheroes, although with slightly different origins, plus Team Captain America and Team Iron Man.
I can't get over the X-Men parallels here, right? By the time all the punching and the drama was over, Iron Man became the new director of S.H.I.E.L.D., Captain America was imprisoned and assassinated by Crossbones and Sharon Carter, that's Peggy Carter's daughter, and a bunch of superheroes left America for the moose-filled pastures of Canada, and who can blame them?
We're definitely expecting a pretty big shakeup here at the Marvel Cinematic Universe when all this is said and done. The directors certainly have hinted as much.
For the moment, it'll probably be the end of the Avengers as we know them, with the plot of the first part of Infinity War focused around reassembling and putting the pieces back together once the Civil War is over.
We also wouldn't be surprised to see Captain America take one for the team like he did in the comics, where he is ultimately surrendered himself to custody after seeing all the damage that the conflict causes.
Yeah, there will probably be one or two very minor deaths in there because we can't see Marvel killing off anyone that really could make a lot of money on their standalone releases down the line.
Yes, but of course, all that's just a guessing game until the movie comes out here, and thankfully we don't have to wait too much longer for that. Civil War hits theaters nationwide this weekend and will probably destroy all sorts of box office records.
I mean, it's already Fandango's top pre-selling comic book movie of all time, beating out Batman vs. Superman, which held the record before that. We all know how huge that opening weekend was, and seems like Civil War is set to top it. Also, though, it's already out in the rest of the world, so gotta say thanks to you guys elsewhere for not posting it all over the place online. Maybe don't read the comments for this one.
Yeah, we will remember that Game of Thrones premieres here first and then gets to you guys later, so we got you. So what do you guys think about all the early buzz for Civil War? You're gonna see it, don't lie. And Team Cap or Team Iron Man, let us know in the comments.
And for more on the latest comic book movie news that's out everywhere else but here, like this video and subscribe to The Know. Thanks to Sherry's Berries for sponsoring this update.
Mother's Day is almost here, guys. Send your mom a batch of freshly dipped strawberries for just $19.99.
Or you can double the number of berries for $10 more, so maybe there'll be one or two left over for you.
But that's not why you're doing it, right?
Of course not.
To get this offer, just go to berries.com, click the microphone in the top right-hand corner, and enter code THEKNOW with a space.
Yay! I finally remembered Mother's Day for once.
You've done it.
I'm bad at it, but look at this. This is what you can get. We're gonna show you. Whoop. Yeah.
Throw it.
Look at these.
Furries.
We already ate some of them, so you gotta forgive us, but look at this.
I hope it's all blurry.
It will be, but
Blurries.
they're so pretty, and they're so big, and they're so chocolate. Do you want one?
Yeah, I do. Oh, yes.
I had a white chocolate one yesterday. I think I'm gonna have a chocolate one today.
Furries.
That was real good. I'm dropping everywhere. It's fun.